Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Campaign 8 week 8 day 6. So today of course we still have the faction event going on, of course first ever repeat faction event. I believe this might be more of a one-off thing because of the patch not being out yet, though I'm not really sure. We'll find out in time. But of course, we still get those extra 3 battles every single day if you're going to be doing the free battles. Based on the poll we did yesterday, it seems like a majority of people are going down pretty much that route, which is the exact route we're also going down. We're basically just doing the free ones, getting a little bit of loot from there, and basically not touching it beyond that. Obviously, you could even tell from leaderboard. Then again, leaderboard might actually be straight 500s now, which is actually kind of surprising. Oh no, it's not. Like, it kind of is. Yeah, there's actually still quite a few people going for the 500. That's kind of interesting. However, of course, yeah, if you've already done it a few months ago, then you don't really have a need to do so, of course. So if you have already done it, definitely not worth doing it again, especially since the leaderboard for this kind of thing is normally pretty contested, given how many people go and normally get 500 just for the sake of, not for leaderboard, but, you know, to get it done for their faction. So there is that factor. But anyways, we're just going through the free battles. We just still have the Mythic going on that we ended up getting yesterday, of course. Not the greatest, not the worst. Kind of mid-range, slightly above mid-range weapon Mythic. It's mostly like a Arachnean Weaver that hits the front, but way worse than Arachnean Weaver. Is pretty much what this troop comes down to. However, I would say he's probably the most useful KZL Mythic. So he does have that going for him if you're still in need of additional KZL Mythic, or even if you have 0 current KZL Mythics, as it might be the first one that you might want to pick up for the Kingdom. So I definitely would advise getting it in that regard. And of course it brings up to, what, 23 star now? So you can also end up doing that later in the game, just to end up owning it. We do have absolutely nothing on adventure board today. That's kind of unfortunate. I also checked the offers earlier. There's absolutely nothing, though the offers are different per person. Anyways. Let's go, and I wish I need this pack. I could have sworn for the longest time I actually need more copies of this, but apparently we actually already got all the copies of them. So let's go head over to the faction event then. And did we finish the ward event? I actually cannot remember right now. I assume we have, and we have. I just haven't bothered claiming it yet. And we get a green orb from it. And let me guess, Isabel's all the way at the top? Yep. But like more than double the score. Actually, where did we fall? We also didn't do the other yesterday's battle. Where she had dead last. That's funny. But that's because we didn't do yesterday's battle and we're at like the bare minimum threshold. So that ended up happening. Oh yeah, we got Guild Wars. Oh, I keep thinking it's next week. It's actually, oh, you know why? We're almost guaranteed getting a patch next week. Because they're not going to do it during a Guild War week. Which means next week's Tuesday is literally the last possible Tuesday that they will do it anytime soon. Because they almost never do a patch on a Tuesday week for a Guild Wars. And 2 Tuesdays from now would be a Guild War week. So they are likely, almost guaranteed. Hopefully I won't be wrong 3 Tuesdays in a row. But this Tuesday should be the patch day. I would sure hope so, gosh. Not sure where that patch is, but there's almost no way it's not coming out on that day. Anyways, let's go to the faction event already. That's not where I wanted to go. Faction event, of course, we're still using the same team. Might change that at some point, though. We're still getting enough damage to double cast, so just sticking with it. Anyways, hello, everyone. Hope all you've been having a wonderful, wonderful weekend so far. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Roman. Hello, Bill. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Sushi Ninja. Hello, Nightmare. Hello, Gimli. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, David. Hello, Hung. Hello, Grudo. Hello, Crisp. Hello, Hong, hello everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Why does it say new faction? Oh wait, did I say new faction? Did I say new faction in the title? I didn't mean new faction. Umbral, Nexus, faction, and token farming. The title doesn't say it. Oh, did I accidentally say new faction? My bad. It shouldn't say new faction. Does it actually say new faction in game? I never paid attention. Does the notification actually say it's a new faction? Because it is not a new faction. Or are you talking about me accidentally saying it? Because the title doesn't seem to say it. Umbral Nexus. Extra, let's see. Earn extra faction rewards in this event. Great chance to earn chaos shards. I don't see it. Not sure what you're referring to. I don't know. Are you referring to the stream? He means in game. I know. Where in game is it though? Because it doesn't say new faction there. Unless it did earlier and it doesn't now. Unless you're referring... Where? What location? Oh, on the Xbox version? Oh, okay. Maybe they accidentally put the wrong text. Because, yeah, I'm looking on the PC one right here. And it just says, Umbral Nexus. Earn extra faction rewards in this event. A great chance to earn extra chaos shards in progress. Which is all true. But yeah, it doesn't say new faction there. But it might be specifically on a specific platform. But I know on PC Mobile, or at least on PC on the Steam version, it does not specifically say that. Well, that's kind of weird if it does. Hopefully they are aware and will change it at some point. They're not sure they're going to change it in time because realistically they're not going to be back until like Monday. They don't tend to work on weekends for the most part. Seemingly. Yeah, hopefully they will end up adjusting that then. I'm actually not surprised though, because it's probably set up to almost always say new faction. Though it'd be weird if it's only on some platforms and not all of them. Unless they meant to set it up like Switch onto the Switch version like that, but then accidentally set it on all the console versions, which I would also not be completely surprised if that was the case. It's pretty funny, when we were finishing the Puzzle Quest stream the other day, they actually had one of the 3D models T-posing. Like, literally just T-posing because it didn't have an animation for one of the things. Though in all fairness, it was wearing like a weird asset that was like a different model for it. That was used in like only one of the chapters. So it's probably just an oversight on their part. But it was literally T-posing. Which reminds me of that kind of mistake. Obviously the one saying that's a new faction, probably a little bit more minor than that overall though. Because that's not normally too big a deal. I'm pretty sure people will kind of realize that's not a new one. Unless they're a newer player, in which case they might think it's a new one. But if you haven't done the faction yet, isn't it technically a new faction in a sense? Like if you haven't finished out a faction, in all theory, it kind of is a new faction. Just not an actual new faction. Let's see, we'll throw that down. And we're good to go. Yeah, we really need more mana accumulation there. Yeah, we'll just go for explosion. Need that last little bit of mana. And then the old out. Ooh, we're gonna barely survive there. Ever so barely. Oh, that's not the battle I want. Yeah, we might need to change this team soon. Once it starts not double hitting is about when. And we're almost at that point. Ever so almost. It is still double hitting though. Which is actually rather surprising. The last I recall, double hit actually lasts with my stats up to about 130-ish. I think you can sometimes push it to 150-ish. But beyond that, you would have to switch team. Which means for tomorrow, we definitely would have to end up switching our team then. Well, actually, even for today, probably. Because if we find one more Valraven, we would have to switch to a different team. Because if we find 0 Valravens right now, like literally as we hit the last sigil, we're at like the cusp of when this would start falling off. Because on that like very last battle in that section, I'm pretty sure is when it stops doing the double hit cast. But until then, it's still a pretty fast option. It's basically the equivalent of running like a Rowan or a Tesla. Well, not quite the same as a Tesla, but Rowan or any other simultaneous kill option. Oh, that's not good. But I'm not sure how worth it is to do these battles. I do like that we're getting 2 times multiplier the entire time. It's just the other loot that we get from it's actually not too particularly high. Like, the free battles for the Tuesday event, for whatever reason, almost seems more worth it. I think the main reason for that is the rewards are more concentrated, so you don't have to go as far to get the full amount of rewards. Like, with what we're doing here, we're definitely not going to get the full amount of rewards. I believe tier 3 is the absolute lowest you can get away with it on. And even tier 3, I'm not 100% certain if it's actually enough for all rewards. Whereas on something like a Tuesday event, you could do it with just a tier 1. Like a tier 1's, it's going to get a lot of the rewards here. Well, it's mostly just the free battles at that point. But it definitely will not reach the end. Definitely wouldn't. Because I believe around 230 or 240, like that section is where you would normally have all rewards. If you played it all the way through doing absolutely every single battle. And you definitely wouldn't be at that many sigils after tier 1. Not even close. Even with tomorrow's sigils. Because after tomorrow's, we can assume we have one more Valraven in play. So that means 5 more on top of whatever we have currently, which means we'd hit, we would hit 190. Which means we'd be 4 sigils short. Which means, yeah, you might have to do tier 4, actually, now that I think about it. Because you'd have to find 2 Valravens if you bought tier 3. We're definitely going to find one more. The second one is questionable, though. So I'm not sure you'd actually be able to close the gap unless you actually had tier 4. How visible is the campaign Mythic we are getting Monday? Or how viable, I mean? It seems decent. I haven't had the chance to use it yet. From a what is the best option to be using to create a wish gem, it is probably going to be the strongest option in the entire game. From a is it actually going to be a good troop, that is still within question. But it is pretty much guaranteed going to be the best wish related option after this campaign ends. So it has that going for it. How viable that's actually going to be is more so what we're going to have to test on Monday night. As well as throughout the week, if it seems worthwhile to keep messing around with it. But yeah, it should be the best thing in the entire game for doing wish gems. Which is both a good thing and a bad thing. Wish gems can backfire. 1 in 5, assuming that it's weighted evenly, 1 in 5 chance, when you take it, it will give the entire enemy team full mana. Yes, you will also get full mana from doing it, but if you're using your turn while gaining a bunch of mana already, but then you accidentally give the enemy full mana, there's a possibility that it could be too high of a liability to bother using. So I'll have to see. Because I believe it actually creates multiple wish gems as well, which is almost a bad thing if you think about it, which is kind of weird to kind of say. But it's because every single wish gem you take, assuming it's weighted evenly, which I believe, pretty sure it is a 1 in 5 chance you give the entire enemy team full mana. Yes, you would also get full mana from it, but you'd also be giving the enemy team full mana. So there is a pretty high chance that can backfire, to say the least. Because there's an argument to be made that it might create too many wish gems. The new Mythic coming out on Monday. Or the Monday after that if you got the normal pass. It's creating too many wish gems might actually be a downside to it. Which seems kind of weird because with every other power gem, if it created more, would kind of be a good thing. Though wish gems is one of those weird ones where if you create too much of it, it actually has an inverse effect. Kind of like how if you constantly keep death marking the enemy team, they're never going to die to death mark because it keeps refreshing the 1-turn timer. Wish gems are almost kind of the same way, where if you keep putting wish gems onto the board, you're hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself. Like there's a certain threshold where you're creating so many that it backfires. But I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously we haven't been able to mess with it. We will be Monday night, of course. Which is 2 nights from now, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be going over the spoilers for the week and all the normal stuff we do. As well as finishing out this faction and, you know, all the normal stuff we normally do on a Sunday. And then Monday we'll be doing all the Chapter 9 tasks, as well as messing with the new Mythic. And by new Mythic, I don't mean the one that came out yesterday. I mean the one that's coming out on Monday. Through the pass thingy. You bought up to tier 3 and you're currently at 21,000 on stage 16. Actually, that might be enough to go all the way then. That seems pretty close. That would seem to be pretty close. Oh, did I just fail? I just did that when there was no no green gems on the board. Whoops. That's kind of funny. Also, could you not have some merge? That'd be great. There we go. Oh, what team is that? Let me go check it. What's this team for? You posted a team with no context. I must check. Oh yeah, I forgot. I can't actually do it in this game. Well, let me go see what this team is real quick. I'll just do it underneath the troops over here. Let's see. Doomdax or... Oh, can you actually use this in the faction? Yeah, you could. Pretty sure it's for the faction. Yeah, you can end up getting away with that. Interesting using Ori. There are some teams that can work out pretty well with Ori. The Double Storm. I feel like I personally don't use many of the Double Storms that often. There's a couple really interesting gimmicks you can end up doing with them. I haven't really found anything with any of them that I've really liked a lot, though. Like, there's some weird ones that you could do with the Red-Yellow Storm with Phoenicia and some things like that with that one whistle troop. What is his name? Steam Whistle or something? But, I don't know. None of them I really, really liked enough to bother using on a regular basis, personally. They're definitely usable, though. I'm just still waiting for, like, that really, really solid Double Storm. Until we really start messing around with it. But it is a mechanic that is definitely viable. Oh, you were mentioning an Enraged Carandera team. Interesting. Normally when you're building Enraged Carandera... Actually, oddly enough, it works kind of good with the new Mythic. But, as far as Enraged Carandera teams, I would normally advise having at least one status effect that can go with it. Because normally when you're using stun spam, you want to have some status effect that can actually utilize that stun. One way that you can end up doing this is with something like Freeze or Fairy Fire, basically ensuring that you can get the entire status effect onto the opposing team. Especially if you go Curse Stun. Because you can end up doing Curse off of Mirage Queen, which not only gives you half mana start, but also gives you the Curse Stun capability, which is really strong. Because not only does it disable every trait, but it also disables their immunities. So even if they have Impervious, it still hits through, which is pretty strong. You can't get rid of, you can't get through that one indestructible trait by using such a combo, like Mirage Queen with Enraged Carandera, but you can still get a lot of good value out of it. I do feel like I personally don't use Enraged Carandera that often, though. It's a great utility troop to have your hands on, though. But aside from putting it into my Guild War team on occasion, the hard counter teams, I don't feel like I initially put it on any of my teams. Like, I might occasionally bring it out for hard counter, but very rarely is it actually like a staple of the team. It's more so, does the enemy have something that really needs to be stunned in some way, shape, or form? And if so, you kind of then go down that route. Yeah, Tink Steam Whistle, that's his name. I knew it was something Whistle, and Steam was in it. I forgot the first part of it. I said, hello, Clip Bomb. Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. I said, hello, Erosion. Hello, Pavel. I've not said hello to, gosh, a billion people. Hello, Dwight. Hello, Kazuka. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I said, hello, Ricardo. And hello, everyone who hasn't said hello. I know there's a lot of you normally. But I do appreciate you guys being here. Although people lurking in the shadows. Right, there we go, another one down. Alright, we need a good explosion here. Unfortunately, we are quite a bit short on mana. Oh, now we can't even get... Oh, wait, that's only 2 mana drain, though. Yeah, he doesn't drain that much. He drains 4. And we got... the reason it's a 2 gap is because enchant. Hello, Jimmy. Welcome. There's a Bill lurking. You said hello earlier, though. Always there for the first hello. Even if it's the 20th one. Let's see. An explosion. But I'm still really curious to see what next patch will be bringing for Gems of War. We know most of what it's going to be bringing already. However, the actual implementation of it, a lot of stuff we don't know too many specifics of. I just know one of the biggest new features is definitely that Mimic. We're going to be getting a lot of extra loot on Explore 12. Or technically all Explorers, but primarily Explore 12. Because similar to token grinding currently, they're basically making token grinding even better. However, similarly, it is still best to do Explore 12 when the patch transfers over. Not sure how hard the new Mimic is to actually kill, though. I assume not that bad. If it's anything like the implementations of quite a few other locations in the game where something similar was happened, like Epic Vault Keys, they're still going to be kind of a pushover. Because, of course, Epic Vault Keys, while harder than normal Vault Keys, they were still pretty easy. So I have a feeling the Mimics are kind of be the same way. Like, as hard as Explore 12 currently is, expect it when there's a Mimic to be, like, ever so slightly harder, but barely any. Though I believe it does have Impervious, so that could make it slightly more annoying to deal with. It's definitely going to have, like, that randomness of how Mimic currently is. Because, of course, Mimic does, I believe, 6 different things. One of them is Devour. Some of them aren't too bad. It's like, if you got to choose what Mimic got to cast, or gets to cast, it would actually be kind of usable. The biggest issue that occurs with Mimic is you do not actually get to choose. We really don't have a good option there, so let's explode all that. Get another poke down, and we're good to go. But it looks like this team might be going all the way to 150. 150 is like the furthest you could push this team last time I recall. Normally we wouldn't need to do it necessarily exactly like this. But I kind of just want to see how far it can go, because I haven't really done it this way for a while. Like testing the limits of Guard's avatar. Also, am I even set to armor right now? I'm not even set to armor. Whoops. It's not too big a deal, but like if we were at the point where we're having to triple cast, that would have mattered more. I'll still go set it real quick. Anyways, let's keep going, because you can actually change your medals midway. You can't change your hero class or a few other things like that, but if you change your medals in that one screen, it changes for these battles as well. It's not locked to whatever you started at. You can also change your traits that way as well. Like, for example, I am currently using Titan hero class. However, you can specifically just change what traits you have set, and it'll end up changing it for the team as well. Let's see, we'll throw that down. But the metal shifting is probably the most useful one. So I really like that background for Nexus. I wish we got to see more of these backgrounds. They get blocked. Like, a lot of the backgrounds in the game, they make some really good backgrounds. But a lot of them tend to get blocked through various other assets in the game. So you barely ever get to see any. Like, even just the sides here I really like. They've been doing a really good job on them. Whoever does the concept art for it, or, you know, all the art for it, very solid. This is technically our last sigil, though there is also Valraven chance in here. We're definitely going to get that vault key. But yeah, I'm not sure we get any further than stage... I want to say 12? Because are we even going to have enough to hit stage 13 tomorrow? Like, getting to stage 13, yes, but I mean, like, the actual reward for it, I don't feel like we would. It's not really worth going that much deeper. Because we're basically spending a couple hundred for an orb. Because to go that much deeper, we'd likely have to buy the tier 3, which is 210 gems for one orb. And then at that point, it's like, oh, I should probably go the rest of the way then. A gallery mode would actually be really cool. They have something almost like it in-game, but not quite. Though you can pull most of the assets from the game and kind of do it yourself. But yeah, there's not really a proper way to do it in-game. Like, there's that one screenshot kind of thing, but it's very limited what you can do with it, and you can't, like, mix and match. It's just for the single card. It's a feature that's been in the game for a little while, but it's not quite the same as, like, a proper gallery mode kind of thing. Like, for example, let's say for, I don't know, what's a good example? How about the new Mythic that just came out? There's, like, this little mode, and you can kind of go and disable everything. Can you actually disable this as well? I actually can't remember. Is there no way to disable the thing? Oh, yeah, never mind. That just changes the background. Oh, yeah, you can do that. Show particles. I was not doing the show particle thing, but yeah, you can kind of do that. And I believe this just lets you do the thing. Oh yeah, just actually auto screenshots it actually. But yeah, there's not much you could do to like mix and match stuff. It's also just better doing it with the actual assets from the game. Because they're pulled on other websites, like go on Terran's World. If you actually want to like compose something, it's way easier doing it that way. But yeah, that's like the closest thing they have to like what you mentioned. It's not exactly the same though, not even close. It's like the closest thing the game has. I wish it had more usability. Would be a pretty cool feature. Like in its current state, I feel like it's not really useful for much. Not sure if they're ever going to adjust it to make it more useful in game. It would be nice because it would be a lot easier to make thumbnails if so. Not that it's hard to make thumbnails for the most part, but you know. It would be kind of cool if you could like literally do stuff like that in game. You tried Puzzle Quest today and your feelings are mixed? Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about Puzzle Quest 3. Does a lot of good, does a lot of bad. I do still want to keep an eye on it and see where it goes. It's just its current state is not the greatest. But I've had a lot of fun with it so far, personally. They just made a couple really questionable decisions with the game. Also, we did get another Vow Raven. I didn't really make mention of it when we killed it. But 2 more sigils. Actually, I'm going to need to change to a real team after this one, I think. Obviously, we can still kind of get away. Like, once it stops double hitting is when we know we've hit a wall with it. But it's still doing it. It's still getting the job done. As I mentioned, I believe on the final boss of floor 150 is where it stops killing. Last I recall. It could be slightly different or slightly off from there. Because stats have increased last time I would have recalled that. But last I recall, the final boss room of floor 150 or 160 is generally where it stops one-shotting. Which is not the one we're about to be on, but the one after that. Very unfortunate nothing got full mana there. Do I even have alignment? It's still worth casting though because I need the mana. But yeah, I probably should cover more stuff for Puzzle Quest 3 at some point soon. I covered something for the Pokemon game. It did absolutely nothing in the algorithm, though. Though it could also be because not enough people just initially looked at it as well in the channel, which could be a thing. You'd almost need like a separate channel for it. But I think the biggest issue is it's just way too oversaturated. Like absurdly too oversaturated. No, don't drain me. Let's see, we'll take that over. Get our guard's avatar down. Which I'm just gonna go for a data pokes there. We really do not have a good option there, do we? Which I could take in that red the previous turn and hope for Surge. Oh, level 10 chest, nice. Great to see. It's not too big of a loot difference. Oh, pure shards though, that is really good. A level 10 pure shard chest. Not sure what the highest you could even roll is if you hit the highest roll and everything. Oh, I meant to change my team. Well, I guess we're doing it for this one. This is like the really last battle that I could probably get away with before it falls off. Which means tomorrow we're definitely gonna have to change up our team for the Umbral Nexus. A web spinner all the way in last slot. That's always kind of funny. When the more notorious first slot troops in the entire game all the way in last slot. There actually was a meta back in the day where web spinner was used back in further back in the team though, because it didn't always used to have triple damage at all, like before traits even existed. And even when it did, it actually only had triple damage to poison, not to webbed as well. So there were a lot of situations where you didn't necessarily put it directly in first because you might not have poison in time. However, now that it does web plus the triple damage to webbed, it ends up doing a lot more value because it basically does triple damage to everything that doesn't have immune to web in the entire game, which is for a lot of things. Because the only things that really have immune to web for the most part that are actually usable are things with impervious or indestructible. A lot of things that have only immune to web, like that one trait, or actually just two of them, one of the elf traits as well as just a trait that literally is just immune to web. Most of the troops that have that are kind of useless. So hello Heartfelt, welcome, been doing pretty good. Hope your weekend has also been wonderful. Stuff to kill him out, we're good to go. Hey, we still never handed out a code to stream. We'll hand it out after this faction set. Then probably do some token grinding, because unless we get a Valraven here, that is our final sigil. Wait, are we at 0 or 1? Never mind, we might actually have one more area to go do. Because if it currently says 1, that means we actually still have sigil left. If it says 0, that means we're likely actually at 0. Because unless we get Valraven, that is the end of line. Oh no, we do still have one, never mind. I keep forgetting. Like, I always keep thinking that it sets it like right at the beginning. Or it does, but you have to consider that it basically, before you click on a room that locks in your team, it does not yet subtract your 1 sigil. But then after that, it does. And sometimes because of when I look at it, I get confused as to how many sigils we have left. Because of how weirdly it is when it actually reduces your 1 sigil. Because when we go to the beginning of the next section, we will still have 1 sigil. Like when it says level 160 right there, we will still show that we have 1 sigil. But the second we enter a battle on that floor, it'll show 0 sigils. Because at that point, it's basically locking your team and everything, which also locks in that 1 sigil for it. And it always confuses me sometimes. I just said always and sometimes in the same sentence. But you know. It's just kind of weird how it's set up. It makes sense the way that it is. Though I feel like it's somewhat confusing sometimes. Even though it does make sense. I want to see on this final fight if we can actually still double cast to win. I want to say that the answer is going to be yes, though I really don't know. Oh, you got Beatrix today. That's a huge pickup. Yeah, Beatrix, oddly, still one of the best cleansers in the entire game. Highly advise fully trading it if you haven't already. You need a bunch of green-blue arcanes for it. You could farm them in, I forget every location. I know, Magrim Woods is one of them. I can't remember where else. So you can go to the Tradestone page and click on one of them and it tells you everywhere where it is located. The only one that comes to mind is Magrim Woods if you haven't already fully traded it. Because it is pretty advised. It has a really good final trait. Among one of the best ones in the game. I don't feel like I use Beatrix as much, but it's still very, very strong. Okay, we're at the point where we can't double hit. So we definitely have to switch to a Zugoff build already. But if you're ever looking to farm a specific Tradestone for a location... Oh yeah, Merlantis is the other one. But if you're ever looking to farm a specific Tradestone for a location, if you just go under inventory and go to the Tradestone that you're looking for, let's say, for example, we want to know what a... I might as well use the example of green-blue. But yeah, we can see Magrim Woods and Merlantis, as you mentioned. If we want to check yellow, purple, or blue-purple, I mean, we can see it's Glacial Peak and Kedar. And if you click on one of them, it brings you directly to that Explorer. And then you can simply go straight in there, which is pretty cool. I like the way that's set up. Anyways, let's go finish out this faction. However, let me go actually make sure I use the correct team, which is the higher level team that I mentioned. That's not the one. The higher level team that I mentioned earlier, which is basically the standard Zugoff kind of thing. Oh, also I could show the sigil thing I was referring to earlier. So for example, when you go into the sigil page over here, and we click fight, notice how we have 1 sigil right now. Oh, I haven't claimed my rewards. 1 second. Notice, hey, we got pure shards again. Notice how we still have 1 sigil right now, even though it says 160. But it doesn't actually take it away until you use it. So this is what I normally get confused by, because sometimes I'll calculate out how many sigils I have left based on this page. So if you do that, you currently have 1. However, I actually currently have 0 sigils left, because as soon as I click fight, and change this team out to what we actually want to use, this one right over here. Once we actually change this out, we are now at 0 sigils, which we can see as soon as we go and do the next fight. I don't know, this always confuses me sometimes, because sometimes I'll look at it like right as I get into the area. And if you do... Oh, that's the Wish Gem thing I was talking about, the backfiring of it. And when you do it immediately when you enter an area, it just makes it kind of confusing. Because you have to account for the fact that you have to lower it by 1 if you haven't already took in the 1 reduction yet. But yeah, that's what I was saying about Wish Gem. If you put too many Wish Gems on the board, you're going to destroy it, and occasionally you're going to give the entire enemy team full mana. And that's my biggest concern with the new Mythic that's coming out this Monday. And there's the 0 sigils I was talking about. But the new Mythic might end up being... might end up backfiring more than it helps. Like, it's still going to help a lot. But there's also a chance it helps the enemy, which is a concerning bad trait that's going to have. Well, not a trait, but, you know, like a bad quirk of the hero class. Can very easily backfire on you. You just got 10 Cursed Ruins? Nice. I have not seen a Cursed Gnome outside of a Vault event for a very, very long time. I think it was like early January since the last time I've seen a Cursed Gnome. We were getting them like nearly every single day for a while. And then we went on such an absurdly long dry streak. Of course, some of that time was when they had that little buff thing, but still. I've gone such a long time without getting any. We also haven't been trying to seek them out because, you know, we have more of them than we even need at the moment because we already got all the unique drops. So any of them are just going and hoarding them for excess. But, yeah, it's still kind of weird how rare they are. I don't know why they didn't make it a little bit more rare. The way that they scaled a lot of things with curse runes, this doesn't make too much sense. Hopefully it'll get tweaked more into the future. It is still a relatively new patch. Technically, it was the most recent patch added to the game. There's like a mini patch in January, though I don't really count that. I didn't even bother updating my titles or anything. Like, I still have everything associated to 6.1 right now, not 6.15. Because that's the version we're in right now, 6.15. But the 0.15 did basically nothing. And by basically nothing, I mean, like, pretty much the exact equivalence of nothing. I think it tweaked a few things, ended the Christmas event that was going on, and it basically did the exact nothingness. But this next patch has quite a bit. It's the first major patch of the year. And should be, fingers crossed, next Tuesday. Though I should probably stop saying that because I am now wrong 2 Tuesdays in a row, and hopefully we will not be wrong 3 Tuesdays in a row. I highly doubt that. There's like a near guarantee chance it's this Tuesday, though. Especially because Guild Wars is 2 Tuesdays from now, so they're going to want to make this Tuesday the one that actually has the update. Because it's generally a bad idea for them to do an update like that during a Guild War week. It almost never happens. Doesn't mean it couldn't, but it almost never happens these days. A patch during a Guild War week. That doesn't mean it's off the table of eventually happening, but it's very, very exceedingly rare these days. Mostly because it conflicts with quite a few things. Well, obviously, the main one being Guild Wars itself. Obviously. I should have just taken Skull there, but luckily we got a cascaded one, so it didn't really matter. But if anyone else has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. I'll make sure to do so. Because once we finish this out, we're going to hand out a code and then probably do a little bit of token grinding. If nothing else, I need to go get more of my kingdoms to 3 out of 4. I'm not sure why, but I still haven't bothered finishing them yet. Just in case next Tuesday is that patch, we should probably make sure all of our kingdoms are good to go. What's the chance of having it wrong 3 times? I know, right? If I keep saying it's every Tuesday, I will be right about, like, 4% of the time. Maybe 5? I don't know. How often do they do an update? Let's see. If I, every single Tuesday, said there would be an update, I would be right, I think, around 8% of the time. Because that's about how often they do a patch. Obviously, we wouldn't say that. I just thought the patch would already be out by now, but still. But if we literally said every Tuesday would be the patch, which obviously we wouldn't, but if we happen to, we would have about an 8% chance of being right on an average one. Obviously, it would be way higher chance as it moves closer to when a patch would normally happen. The chance would theoretically come out, go up substantially. But if we were to base it just on any random Tuesday, saying that it would be a patch day, we have approximately an 8% chance of being correct, based on the rate at which they normally update the game. Pure Faction team, there's a couple different ones you could run. You can run 4 of the Void Wisp. You can run 2 Void Wisp with 2 of the Legendary, the one that summons. Or you can do the team that I ended up mentioning for the video, the copy-paste forts on the video that we covered on Friday. That's not the one. That's also not the one. I'll eventually click the right one, which is the Lightborn Paladin double Void Wisp with the Umbral Portal. But yeah, it's either this, double Void Wisp, double Umbral Portal, or 4 Void Wisp. Any of those 3 teams will get you there, most likely. This is personally what I ran it with. Any of those 3 should be perfectly fine. Those are pretty much the only 3 you would really run, though, I would say, for the most part. Because you don't want to run 3 Void Wisps with one other thing, because they're going to get targeted, because Void Wisp has stealthy. So that really only leaves those 3 teams then. Either double, 4 Void Wisp, or 1-2-1, where you run the tank, the double Void Wisp, and 1 of the Legendary. Those are pretty much the main options you have. I'm not sure there's any other combination that can really be used for the most part. Well, theoretically, you can technically win it out with other ones if you really want to, but those are like the core 3 that would work out the best for the game mode. Anyways, we have now ran out of sigils for the other thing, which has brought us to... Oh, you know what? It actually did bring us to the end of rewards of 12. Interesting. And then tomorrow battles definitely get us to stage 13. Stage 14 is questionable. But yeah, I don't think we get any further. Like, even if we reach stage 14, there's no way we're hitting any further than stage 14. No way it's going further than that. I believe we have to buy at least 2 more tiers, if not further. Hey, how far did someone say earlier? Someone was saying they were almost at stage 16 with tier 3. Was that actually within striking distance? Like enough that tomorrow's battles would actually get you to the end of stage 3? Because I actually do not know if tier 3 is actually enough with average Valraven luck. Or if it has to be good Valraven luck. It's been so long that I honestly have not the slightest clue. Now let's go clear through these things real quick. Oh yeah, let me go hand out a code. Then we'll go clear through these and go run a couple chests and explore. Oh, where's Phoenicia build? So we need that for all the good old dailies. But anyways, let me go get you guys a code. What setting do you have to show the mana numbers on cards? Oh, you can change that in the settings menu in the top right. Or if you're on the main menu, the bottom right. But it's this one right over here. So if you do it from a battle, you click over there, you click on the other one. You then go over to show spell and mana details on general and make sure this is checked. If you have it unchecked, it will not show the manas, as you can see. Which is it by like that by default? That'd be kind of weird if it is. I think it was at one point, but I'm pretty sure this is the default now, isn't it? I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely make sure this is checked. If it's not checked, it's not going to show it. If it is checked, it'll just show a mana right next to the values. Or it'll show values over top the mana thing. Where do you guys go? Oh, so hello, Cookie. Welcome, welcome. Also, let me go get you guys a code. I did mention that earlier and did not do that yet. 1 second. I just need to go bury up the code section, or undig the code section, I should say. Bury up. What is that wording? Let's see. 1 moment. Just trying to figure out where the code section actually is, so I can hand it out to you guys, as well as claim it for ourselves. A little bit of gem key. Hey, every little bit helps. That mythic could be in that gem key. You never know. 0.1% chance. But how many redeems the codes have? Technically, within about 3 redeem codes, someone would probably randomly get a mythic. So that means like every week we're technically handing out 2 mythics randomly. Who on earth is getting them? I have no clue, because a lot of people probably hoard their keys for you know, specific times. Like I know I do personally. Most people, or you know, a lot of people in the game don't like instantly use their keys. As you're progressing through the game, you tend to use them pretty much instantly. Though you do eventually reach a point where you kind of hoard them for new mythics and stuff like that. Though that is technically currently. But theoretically, the codes have enough claims that every week we're basically giving out 2 mythics. Obviously not directly, but through the codes themselves. Not sure who those 2 people are that are normally getting those mythic. And they might not even know who they are, because if you're hoarding the key and then you end up getting a mythic from a key, you don't know, you know, there's no way to track down that exact key was the one that ended up doing it. So it's hard to tell. Because it's not like every single person who takes the code instantly uses the key. I don't even instantly use the key most of the time. No, for the fun of it, I'm talking about. Let's instantly use the key. Let's see. Did I even claim it? Yeah, I didn't. But it gets the same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. And definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps a lot and is greatly appreciated. There you guys go. But yeah, let's go open the key immediately. I almost never do this. Wouldn't that be funny if it actually did have the mythic in it? Nope, just a runic. That would have been insane, though. We have done that before. I have actually opened 1 singular key and gotten a mythic before. Once, and only once, and probably ever only once. Because the chance of that happening is exceedingly unlikely. If I did it every day for 3 years, we would likely only have it hit once. And I have had it hit once and only once before. But if I did that literally every day, only open 1 key, it would take about 3 years for us to randomly hit on that exact day the mythic. But of course you get keys through many other methods. It's not like the redeem code is the only way that you get keys. There are plenty of ways to get them. It's basically a 1 in 1,000 chance. But I can't believe it actually has happened once on stream. I honestly have not the slightest clue which stream it was. But there was 1 stream where we opened 1 gem key and it did indeed have a mythic. Which is exceedingly unlikely, but technically possible. You hit 1 mythic key a lot of times. Interesting. Definitely is possible if you get super lucky. Also, if you open a lot of 1 keys, it would be also a lot more likely. Like, if you open keys 1 at a time, but you're opening, like, 20 to 100 per day, then yeah, that would make it a lot more common. Because I was just referring to 1 singular key compared to dozens of them. Theoretically, if you really wanted to min-max your resource efficiency, if it was actually quicker to do 1 at a time, it actually would save you the most amount of resources. If you, like, literally just kept opening 1 key at a time over and over and over again. But this would be very slow to do compared to doing 50 at a time. Because I could just keep clicking this for, like, an hour, and we probably not even burn through the entire stack if we kept doing it like this. That would be a really funny way to just get an amazing drop. It would also be a funny way to get a screenshot if you actually did end up getting lucky with it. There's no way we would get lucky with it. I'm just doing a few of them right now. Yeah, we got at least an epic there. Getting slightly higher. Anyways, where were we? We did that, we did that, we did that. We finished out the faction, right? Yeah, well, that's good to go. Finish it out tomorrow. Alright, let's go clear out dungeons, and then we'll go mess with, let's go get a chest or 2 from Explorer. You have no problem for the code, everyone. Enjoy. You got 3 mythics and 10 guild keys before? Oh, that is insanely lucky. I don't think I have ever gotten double mythic from opening 50 gem keys. I have gotten double mythic before, but it was from VIP keys. And I believe from a 200 gem key I did it once. But never from a 50 gem key. I don't believe I have ever gotten a double mythic. Which is kind of surprising. Because based on its odds, that should happen if you open, and then again, 50 would happen quite a bit less. I was going to say, yeah, 200 should happen, but that has happened to me before. Because that'd be really weird if you don't hit it with 200. Or, you know, haven't ever hit it with 200. Obviously, hitting it immediately with 200 is unlikely. But yeah, I can't recall ever having actually hit double mythic off a 50 gem key. Can't recall it ever happening. Doesn't mean it hasn't happened, though. I'm pretty sure it hasn't to me. Oh, in all fairness, we wouldn't really need it to have... Oh, wait, why am I on this difficulty? Well, if nothing else, let me go set this to the right one. Alright, let's go do this and go get the Zugov team out. Go prep it nice and ready. Get those 3 out of 4 ready for this Tuesday when that patch is definitely coming. We can only be wrong so many times. No, it is near guaranteed. They already probably have it sent into all the platforms too, ready to go. Because on the on that one Amazon version, it basically leaked early. Which meant that it was already ready to go. It's just a matter of all the platforms approving it. Only wrong every other week. I need to remember to actually keep this at 3 out of 4. Because I will forget for the billionth time. Let's see. I'll throw that down. Grab the... Oh, we can cascade that low enough. We could try for a blue off the sky, though. Didn't end up getting it. Take the skull over there. Oh, I just realized, like, why aren't we killing? It's because our hero's not in first slot. It really threw me off for a second. It's like, wait, Where'd all our skull damage? Oh, wait, I forgot to stop the thing. No. I completely forgot again. I even mentioned it and then, like, kept going. Slight fail. There we go. As long as it's right at the 4 out of 4, that should be fine, though, too. Yeah, it's fine. We'll leave it there. Not as ideal, but sure. It shall stay there. Let's just go do one where we actually get to claim the chest. Let's go do a Golvania run real quick. Because I keep setting it for the other one, so we don't actually get any chests. So let's go get one actual chest drop from this place. And then probably call it a wrap there. As hello, Logic Slayer. Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. Hope you've been enjoying your weekend so far. Mine's been pretty fun. And luckily I got everything done throughout the week that I needed to, so I have actually a pretty free weekend this weekend for once. Like every errand I needed to get done this week, I did all on Thursday. So now I'm actually free for the entire weekend, which feels nice. Catch you later, Hung. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Let's see. We'll take that over. Alright, our mana accumulation is so slow right now. So slow, our hero had enough time to die. You get double mythic off of 200 glory keys. That's pretty nice. That is something else I've never done. Though, in all fairness, I haven't done as many glory keys in general. Now, whenever we do, we are doing them 200 at a time always. Unlike gem keys, I normally do in 50s these days instead of 200 at a time. There aren't too many opportunities where I can get a 200 at a time option anymore. Well, when I do glory keys, they're always 200 at a time, but I can't recall ever having that happen, unfortunately. I might eventually get lucky enough to have it happen, though. Hopefully on a mythic that's actually good. Like, if it happened on the one that we had this week, that'd be pretty underwhelming. Because having double of this most recent mythic is completely pointless. Having one's okay, but having two is definitely not good. Like, he's definitely one of the ones that if you see a repeat of it, you'll be very disappointed. I wouldn't say the first copy's disappointment, though. Definitely doesn't give as much excitement as some mythics in the game, that's for sure. Wouldn't necessarily say it's underwhelming, though. At least has some small amount of purpose. Whereas when you get a second one, that's when... Though in all fairness, even almost all mythics, when you get a second copy, feel kind of bad. Especially if you just really recently got it. Like if you use 4,000 diamonds to get a mythic, and then like 2 weeks later you just randomly find it. It's like, oh, well, gotta go wait like another few months. Get the diamonds up. Actually, how often do you really get it? It depends how much you farm every single thing, because you actually get it quicker than that. Like the rate of diamond mythics. There's quite a few things that affect the rate. Like the amount that you get from guilds, other side modes, how much you farm vault events. There's a lot of things that can end up ultimately affecting it. If you actually claim the diamonds every day off of dungeons, if you spend the 50 gems on the dungeon thing. There's quite a few things that can contribute to it. Yeah, except Ironhawk. Ironhawk is by far the most exciting one. When you see the second copy of it, it's insane. Especially if you see a third. Like, that's one where you could already have two and you see a third, and it's like, oh wow, this is actually still pretty cool. Because there's actually direct use for it. The only thing you can't do is 4 Ironhawks. That's literally impossible. Or not impossible, you know, you'd still win, but it's not viable. 3 Ironhawks is the most you can possibly do. 1 is okay, 2 is insanely good, and 3 is also insanely good. It's one of those weird mythics that's kind of inverse of Ferrous Raw, where like, even though Ferrous Raw isn't as good in the current state of the game, Ferrous Raw gets most of its benefit when you get 1, and you still get some benefit when you get a second one. However, Ironhawk's kind of the inverse, where you get very little benefit from having 1 Ironhawk, but an insane amount when you have 2. And you do have a bit of a diminishing return when you get 3. However, there are some things that you can do with 3 Ironhawk that you can't do with 2 Ironhawk. Mostly Dust Devil into 3 Ironhawk is very situational, but still a pretty good team. Anyways, guys, we will wrap it there for now. We will be back tomorrow night, same time as always, 1 hour prior to 1 hour prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're mostly going to be going over all the weekly spoilers, finishing out the first ever repeat faction, I guess, this weekend, which, you know, is mostly just grinding up to about 200 faction level there. See how far it actually gets with the just tier 1. So I'm kind of curious exactly where it ends up landing. Apparently our tribute's ready, so we'll grab that as well. A good way to tell that it's been exactly an hour. Tribute that's exactly on the hour has has just went up. So that's a good sign. This stream has been an hour long. Pretty much exactly on the dot. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. We'll be back tomorrow night, as I mentioned. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hour prior to now tomorrow. Going over all the weekly stuff and all that. Monday night, we'll be going over the new Mythic. The one that's in the pass. It's the best way to create wish gems in the entire game. It almost just says star gems again. But the wish gems, so be interesting to see exactly how that pans out. We'll be messing with that on Monday night. And of course, we'll have the Monday video at some time on Monday, going over all the weekly stuff as we normally do. Aside from that, as far as other things, we'll be streaming Pokemon Legends Arceus again tomorrow during the day. So if you want to catch some shiny hunting or just say hi, we'll be streaming pretty much all day tomorrow, continuing the hunt. That should be starting at around 10, I want to say, which is about 13 hours from now. Sometime around there. It depends how long I sleep in. Might be slightly earlier than that. Probably will be exactly around that time or so. And we'll go from there. I'll be streaming that for several hours tomorrow as we continue our endeavors to 100% that game. Because, gosh, is it a hard game to 100%. Honestly, it might take around 1,000 total hours. We're getting pretty close. Actually, it might be less than that. It might be close to 600, 800 total hours to true 100% that game. But it's been a fun experience to do so. I've been enjoying it personally. But anyways, guys, we'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by as always. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will catch you guys soon. Goodbye.